Hi there. Welcome to AI Agents and Coffee podcast. I'm your host, and I'm the solo entrepreneur behind the ABCs of Gen AI. And I'm really glad to be back with you today. You know, I've been away for a bit, and I want to be completely honest with you that I needed some time, really, some time to think about where this podcast was going. And as a solo entrepreneur, I've been reflecting on how to make this show podcast truly valuable for you all. Some people are still skeptical about AI content, and rightfully so. There's a lot of low quality stuff out there. I get it. But I want to be clear about something. While I use AI to augment my work, I'm not using it as a substitute for genuine connection and quality. I'm behind everything you hear in terms of content, everything I write in my ABCs of AI Gen AI publication, but I'm leveraging technology to help me deliver better insights as one person operation. Today it's just me talking to you. So there are no co-hosts. It's just a real conversation about things that matter and no audio and no generated audio. And don't forget that if you're enjoying what you hear, please subscribe and share with others who might find it valuable. Honestly, your support helps me reach more people with this content. Today, I'm exploring a critical topic: securing AI agents in an era of rapid automation and increasing autonomy. This is something that affects all of us, affected me. So, whether you realize it or not, if you are a developer or not, it can affect you. So let's think. You know what's been happening lately? These no code and low code platforms are just everywhere now. They've made AI stuff so much easier to build. Like anyone can do it now. And that's great for innovation and all that, but it actually brings up some pretty serious security issues that I want to talk about. The thing is, a lot of these platforms aren't really upfront about what they're doing with your data, right? They'll bury all that important stuff way down in paragraph 37 of some terms of service that nobody, I mean, let's be honest, nobody actually reads. And suddenly, all that information you're putting in, it's not exactly private anymore. That's kind of a big deal. I actually experienced this firsthand when I was creating logo for my business with one of these AI tools. I spent a bunch of time on it, I was messing around, and then I noticed, and this is really surprised me, completely by accident, that my logo was being saved in somebody else's Amazon S3 bucket. The platform never mentioned anything about that. They didn't explain how they were storing my stuff or what they were doing with it. It's kind of like you order a coffee, right? And then you find out they're keeping your cup after to study your DNA or something. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much. It was just a logo, but you know what I mean. Um, have you ever thought about where all your data goes when you're using these AI tools? Just take a second and think about all the AI services you've used just in the past week. What kind of information have you shared with them? Probably more than you realized, right? This whole situation really highlights why AI literacy isn't just about understanding how to use these tools. It's also about knowing their cybersecurity implications. Developers and users, we need to be aware of risks like data leaks, model poisoning, and unauthorized access. It's critical to adopt best practices like encryption, secure authentication, and data minimization. I've been reading about this fascinating framework called the Safer Agentic AI Foundations. I really like this paper. It was developed by experts like Neil Watson and Ali Hessami. The framework outlines key principles that help keep AI systems secure and aligned with human values. In my view, there are three major pillars worth highlighting. First, goal alignment, ensuring AI agents operate transparently with clear, human aligned objectives. They should be able to explain their decision making process and adjust their goals when necessary. Second, epistemic hygiene. Yeah, it's about keeping the system's reasoning process clean and interpretable. The framework defines this as making AI decisions explainable so users can understand why an agent is taking particular action. And third, robust security measures, implementing sandboxing, dynamic risk analysis, and real time intervention mechanisms to prevent unauthorized access or system misuse. The framework has other pillars too, but these three, in my opinion, are particularly crucial, and that's why I'm talking about them. I'll make sure to include a link to the paper in the show notes for those of you who want to dig deeper. Now, let's start with goal alignment. Are you curious? How do I ensure AI agents stay true to human values and intentions? Goal alignment is probably the most critical factor in developing safer AI agents. It's not just about setting initial objectives, no. It requires iterative feedback loops that continuously verify the agent's actions align with user intentions and ethical standards. I think, of it like a constant conversation between the AI and its users. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine an AI agent designed to optimize a company's supply chain. Without proper goal alignment, it might maximize efficiency at the cost of worker well being or environmental concerns. It's like telling someone to clean your house as quickly as possible, only to come home and find they've thrown all your belongings in the trash. Technically efficient, but not what you wanted. I mean, can you imagine? Great job cleaning. Where's all my stuff? Oh, I threw it out, says the agent. It's more efficient that way, says the agent. With good goal alignment, the agent would balance multiple objectives. It would balance efficiency, worker satisfaction, environmental impact, and be transparent about how it weighs these factors. Plus, it should be corrigible, meaning I can adjust its goals if I notice unintended consequences. So, I'm curious. Have you ever used an AI tool that seemed to completely misunderstand what you were trying to accomplish? That's a goal alignment failure in action. That brings up an interesting point about transparency. How do I ensure I can understand why an AI agent makes specific decisions? How do I ensure that? This is where epistemic hygiene comes in. It's about keeping the system's reasoning process clean and interpretable. The framework describes this as maintaining robust logs of decision making, making it possible to audit actions and understand reasoning. This transparency of reasoning is essential as AI systems become more complex. As agents gain more autonomy, we need stronger oversight mechanisms. The framework refers to this as dynamic risk analysis, which means continuous monitoring for potential threats or unintended behaviors. It's like having a safety supervisor watching over the AI's shoulder, ready to intervene if needed. Now, let's talk about practical security measures. What should developers be implementing? There are several crucial layers to building secure AI agents. First, sandboxing. Testing agents in control environments before deployment to identify and eliminate vulnerabilities. It's like letting a toddler play in the playpen before giving them run of the house. Second, strong authentication systems, ensuring only authorized users can interact with the agents. This seems pretty basic, but you'd be surprised, as I am, how often it gets overlooked. Third, encryption and access controls, protecting sensitive data at every level, both in transit and at rest. This is super important. And fourth, graceful shutdown capabilities, allowing AI systems to safely shut down if they start behaving unexpectedly, kind of like an emergency brake on a train. Let me break this down in practical actions developers can take right now. So, you can implement strong encryption. Every level of an AI system should be encrypted using industry standard protocols that are regularly updated to address emerging security threats. This isn't optional anymore. It's absolutely necessary. Build transparency into the system. Instead of burying important security details in lengthy privacy policies, developers should create clear documentation and user interfaces that show exactly what data an agent accesses, how it's used, and where it starts. Make it obvious, That's the right path to go. Develop comprehensive audit trails. Security isn't just about preventing breaches, it's also about detecting early warning signs. Detailed logs of agent behavior can identify anomalies before they become security threats. Make security features user-friendly. Even the best security measures won't be effective if users don't understand them. Developers need to design intuitive security settings and provide clear, actionable alerts so users can take steps to protect themselves. Let me give you a real world example to make these things clear. Consider an AI-powered financial assistant, for example, that helps users manage their investments. For goal alignment, the assistant's primary objective is to provide personalized financial insights. Without proper alignment, it might prioritize what? Short-term profit maximization without considering risk tolerance or ethical preferences. But with strong alignment mechanisms, it continuously adjusts recommendation to match long-term goals, to match the values and the risk appetite. Now, for epistemic hygiene, so the system gives recommendations, and every recommendation is logged with its data, sources, and reasoning. So if a user asks, why did you suggest this talk? The assistant provides a clear step-to-step explanation. This is transparency. This transparency builds trust and enables regulatory oversight. Now, for robust security measures, the system is tested in controlled environments, monitors itself for anomalies, and can shut down safely if compromised. These layers of protection that I told ensure the financial advice remains reliable and secure. So, by integrating all these principles, AI-powered financial tools can become trustworthy, explainable, and secure. This highlights how AI security isn't just about locking systems down, it's about making them adaptable, making them accountable, and aligned with human needs. Here's something that might surprise you. According to recent research, and I'll find the source, I think it's from IBM, but I'll check and put it on the notes. Over 80% of consumer AI applications collect more data than they actually need to function properly. 80%. That's almost all of them. This excessive data collection creates unnecessary security risks and privacy concerns. It's the digital equivalent of asking for your social security number when you're just buying a coffee. So, now what? What about us as users? When developers become users, what can we do? What steps can I take to protect myself and working with AI agents? Here are some security practices that I recommend. Never share sensitive information like passwords, financial data, or personal emails with AI agents. It's like giving your house keys to a stranger who promises they are trustworthy. Maybe they are, but why take the risk? Be cautious about what personal data you provide. Even non-sensitive information can be used maliciously when combined into other data. It's like puzzle pieces that seem harmless on their own, but when they put them together, suddenly there's a complete picture of your life. Use only reputable platforms. Platforms that clearly state how they handle and secure user data. If you feel like they are not upfront about it, that's a red flag. Read privacy policies carefully. Again, nobody wants to read these. But if a platform doesn't explicitly state how it protects data, assume that it doesn't. Send them emails. Check what their answers are. Better safe than sorry, right? Now, let's consider other suggestion. Using local first AI agents. Instead of relying on cloud-based AI that may send data to third parties, opt for agents that run directly on your device. And all of these principles, I'll call these the trust but verify principles of AI interaction. Honestly, I've made these mistakes myself, and that's why I'm making this episode. I once used it also, so I used this AI platform and tested, and I came to the conclusion that was using my data, and I was really scared. And I was trying to find solutions for AI security in agents, and that's why how I came across with the paper, this framework, which I found very helpful. So the last point about local AI agents runs directly on your device without sending supposedly data to external servers. This might minimize that exposure and enhance privacy. While these agents may have some performance limitations compared to cloud-based AI, they provide stronger security guarantees. Imagine you're using an AI assistant that helps organize your files. If it's cloud-based, every time you upload something, that data is stored on a third-party server. But with a local first agent, all processing happens on your own device, meaning your data stays yours, which is pretty cool. The downside is that you need to have CPU, GPU, because sometimes building agents or using agents requires a lot of computer power. Now, as I look ahead to the future of AI security, I think we are going to see a shift toward more transparent user control systems. I really think positively about this. AI agents won't just need to be secure. They also need to be explainable. Users should always understand how their data is being used and why an AI system is making certain decisions. Regulations will eventually catch up. But until then, developers and organizations, they must take proactive steps now. That means not only designing secure AI agents, but also fostering a culture of security awareness and responsibility. I kind of believe we're at a turning point where AI security can't be an afterthought. It must be built in from the ground up. The safer we make AI today, the better it will serve humanity in the long run. So please stay in the bright side. Now, I want to mention something important about the formal certification framework for agent safety. This is interesting. So the framework establishes 3 levels of certification based on potential impact. At the baseline level, we have low impact systems that need to meet fundamental safety requirements. Then there's the compliant level for medium impact systems, which requires additional safety measures. Finally, there's a critical level for high impact systems that could significantly affect society. So, how do organizations know which level applies to their AI agents? It depends on the potential risk and society impact of their system. I'm going to give an example. An AI agent that helps organize personal calendars might be low impact, while one that manages critical infrastructure would be high impact. Each level builds on the previous one's requirements. The framework also defines 5 key stakeholder roles, each with specific responsibilities. Developers who create AI systems as, right? Integrators who combine different AI components, operators who run the systems, maintainers who keep them updated and secure, and last, regulators who enforce safety standards. The framework introduces several important concepts related to goal alignment also. One is goal adjustability, building AI systems that can be corrected or fine-tuned when needed. We talked about this earlier also. If an AI agent starts pursuing its goals in unexpected or potentially harmful ways, I need to be able to adjust its behavior. It's like having a remote control for your robot vacuum cleaner that's decided your cat is a dust bunny that needs cleaning. So you want to be able to quickly redirect it. The framework also addresses reward mechanisms, the incentives that guide AI behavior, which need to be transparent and aligned with human values. Another important concept is cautious norming. Cautious norming, which means AI systems should default to conservative behavior in unfamiliar situations. They shouldn't take risky actions unless explicitly authorized. This all makes sense, right? Inner alignment inconsistency. It's also defined as a security concern where an AI might say it's aligned with our values but actually behave differently. It's like the difference between someone promising to do something and actually doing it. The framework also addresses end-of-life considerations through goal termination and sunsetting, safely retiring AI systems when they are no longer needed or if they become potentially dangerous. For example, if an AI agent starts showing signs of goal misalignment or security vulnerabilities, I need predetermined procedures to safely shut it down without causing disruption to dependent systems or losing important data. The framework emphasizes temporal changes in societal values, recognizing that what I consider safe and ethical today might change tomorrow. That's why organizations need regular security audits. They need to continuous monitoring systems. Organizations need clear processes for updating value alignments. They need strong documentation of all changes and decisions. They need regular stakeholder reviews. The key is building systems that aren't just secure today, but again can adapt to new security challenges and evolving society values over time. AI security is a dynamic, ongoing process rather than one-time implementation requiring coordinated effort from everyone involved in the AI system's lifecycle. So, well, that brings me to the end of today's episode. I hope you found this exploration of AI security valuable. If you found that some concepts might be still confusing for you, I'll leave again the article, the link in the comments so you can read and digest. And if you have questions, you can reach me, contact me. So remember, as we embrace the benefits of AI agents, I really believe we must also be vigilant about securing them properly, and that's why I did this podcast episode. And I really hope that you've learned something useful today. I also love to hear from you. And think, what AI security concerns keep you up at night? What topics would you like me to cover in the future episodes about AI agents? Don't forget, remember my 3 key takeaways for safer AI interaction. First, always verify how your data is being used and stored. Choose tools with transparent security practices. 3, consider local first options when possible. Okay? And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to AI Agents and Coffee and share it with friends or colleagues who might benefit from these insights. Your support means everything to me. It helps me reach more people with valuable content. Until next time, stay secure, stay informed, and keep thinking critically about the technology shaping our future. This is AI Agents and Coffee, where I brew insights one cup at a time. I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to me.